Anxiety, where did it come from? If you've got anxiety, then you probably know where it came from. But if you didn't, aren't you just a little bit curious where it came from? Because one moment you didn't have it and then you had it. It's like it just eventuated upon you. And if you don't know, and most people with anxiety will actually know that point where they go, oh, that's when it all started. But if you don't know, you should be highly curious as to what it is, because that will be a bit of a gateway into learning how either to manage it or to dissolve it. Hi, my name's Andrew Halliday. I help people with anxiety dissolve the issues that started in the first place to help them be completely anxiety free so they can go on to live a normal and happy life. Stay on towards the end, and I'll show you how to get onto a discovery call so we can just talk about what may be the cause of your anxiety and how to dissolve it completely. So let's just talk now briefly about where it first came from and the reason why it's just so important. In the first place, when you're starting to feel anxious about a situation, a moment, the thought of doing something in the future, it'll give some physiological signals that you feel uncomfortable about the situation. So already you're thinking under-resourced thoughts about a situation. It might be meeting with some people, it might be going to work, it might be doing something in performance. Whatever the situation might be, you're already your body's giving off signals to either prepare you to do it or to get out of there. So in that particular moment where you recollect that you experienced that first anxious moment and it was too much for you, you are actually experiencing something to do with feeling completely under-resourced, and therefore it gives you that emotional feeling that you're not capable of that situation, getting yourself out of it. So you feel fearful of it, and you actually feel threatened. So at that particular moment, it may not be something that you think is a big of a deal, or you played the moment down. It could be something extremely traumatic, or it could be something that you feel like you're completely confident, you're capable of doing anything, and at that moment, you didn't know what to do. So it made you feel scared and threatened, and you blocked that out of thinking that's the reason. Or it could be there was something completely traumatic, and you know that that's what happened, but you just don't know how to deal with that feeling and that situation. And no matter what you've tried, whether you've tried mindfulness or you've tried yoga or breathing, you're just managing the feelings, but you haven't dealt with the challenge that allows you to move past that point. So every time you feel like you can't handle something, you reference that anxious feeling and you utilize that anxious feeling, the physiological changes, to help you deal with future situations. So I'll just say that again, just in case that doesn't sort of make sense to you. But at that point, when you first experience your first anxious episode and therefore had anxiety, and now into the future, every single time there is a moment that feels something similar. It doesn't have to be the same moment. Something similar where you feel like you're under-resourced or you're not capable of doing it, or there is some type of challenge on who you actually are, where you should actually be capable of doing it, or there's some part of your belief about who you are and there's a threat to that. So it doesn't have to be something that's physically demanding or emotionally demanding, but it just feels like there's a threat to who you are on the inside. Every single time that it happens, no matter whether it's a big thing or a small thing, you'll reference that feeling that you had that very first time, that emotional feeling, what you're not coping, that you're alone, that you're not enough, that you're not confident anymore, or you can't handle the situation. You'll reference that point again over and over again every time something that comes up that's similar, and you'll utilize that method of getting out of it. So that could be you get angry. And by bursting out with the anger, then that gets you out of the situation. All right. So you experience the anxiety and the anger comes out. Or you experience the anxiety and the fear kicks in and you become paralyzed. So whatever the response is, it doesn't really matter because you've referenced the situation that got you out in the first place, and you just keep on using that over and over and over again. So where it came from, anxiety, where did it came from? One moment it was there, and then the next moment it wasn't. It's extremely important to know in helping you dissolve the anxiety that you're experiencing, because it shouldn't be there constantly all the way through your life. It's just there because you felt unresourced at that particular point in time. And now you're using it every single time you feel under-resourced. So I hope this has given you some understanding as to what is happening as far as the anxiety that you're experiencing either every single day or several times throughout the day. And it's an outdated app inside your system that deals with a threat. If you want to get on a discovery call to discuss what you're feeling in terms of a challenge and you want to dissolve those issues completely, then I can help you out. So just click the link below and book in a discovery call, and looking forward to help you out. My name's Andrew Halliday. I help people with anxiety dissolve the issues so they can go on to live a normal and happy life.